Viewers, and welcome to some more streaming then. GT Sport FIA race this evening, and I thought I would jump on and have a go and see how we get on. But the first thing we're going to need to do is a little bit of practice. Do say hello as well in the chat there, and I've got one headphone on and one not, so let's just sort that out and do some laps. Now I don't know what the sort of lap times I'm going to need are going to be like in the race, but all I know is that right now this is just I've done my sort of quali sort of speed, and I'm just trying to find a consistent balance now through corners and try and sort of gradually improve in terms of consistency rather than anything else. These cars are quite difficult to drive. So I think the likelihood of getting penalties is very high, and I'm going to see if I can just find some limits that I'm comfortable with, and then just put in a nice average lap. Now I'm guessing your quali is always going to be a bit quicker than the race, so looking to do a sort of a 2:08 maybe sort of lap time and try and improve from there. See if we get more balance with a little lift. So a little lift through there helps just with the balance. I find that the car is incredibly unstable at high speeds. Oh, and through there as well, isn't it? It's going to be a really sort of seat your pants drive there, I think. Strange how the brakes are a little bit unresponsive at times for me. That's something I need to fix on here and gradually try and learn. So hello to viewers, just started the stream, and do say hello when you enter, and good to speak to some of you while we're doing this. And then as I say, when it comes to the race, I am going to concentrate a bit more on the race, just because there's nothing worse than reading a comment that puts you off at the wrong time or takes your mind elsewhere to think about a subject, and then suddenly you've completely forgotten about what's actually going on in front of you. A little bit quicker through there, good speed to be found, and we're going to again brake quite hard here, see where we are in terms of finding that consistent braking point. Lost a lot of speed today on the exit, didn't we? And then you lose the speed all the way down this straight. I mean, that is one of the most important corners on the circuit. Let's go flat for a laugh. Okay, it's too risky, isn't it, to go flat through there? And let's go flat through here for a laugh. And that's risky as well, isn't it? It's very risky all the way around. I came off the brake there thinking I'd already braked enough for the corner and completely messed up the corner. So cruising round. Andy Raven's in the room. Hello Andy. Goodness me. I know everyone says don't crash. It's always the objective is not to crash, but too late into that corner there. But, over the line, and we've got a nice consistent balance there now that we want to try and keep. So if we can do 207s in the race consistently, then I'd say we're going to be happy. I don't think we are. I think we might bank a 2:08 in the lap in the race just by lifting in the tunnel a little bit, so just to keep some balance. Otherwise, you can see yourself touching walls, getting penalties, and then losing a lot of time in the process. So up to this 200-yard board again. And I've got a penalty. That's interesting. They didn't take the penalty off this lap. Never had that penalty before, but that's interesting. So that was going really tight into the wall. I'm going to just sign up for the race in a moment as soon as the entry becomes available. So the race tonight is at 6 o'clock UK time, and let's just see again, is there just a consistent way of... No, there's just no way of consistently doing that in case of... I'm trying different lines every time to try find the consistent way. So let's just do a consistent lap. Let's see if we can just put in some consistency over the next couple of minutes and bring it all together. Let's see how we get on this time. Try and find any improvement we can. So 6 gears just in case. Okay, so solid speed around the first corner. This time we don't want to go too tight into this apex, so that's what gave us a penalty, that penalty. So we want to brake just a yard or two later, just to clip the inside curb without crossing it too much. And that's ruined this lap, but that's no problem. Slow in, fast out in that corner has got to be the way forward. You can see there, closing on my ghost all the way down this section if I went flat through here. But I'm going to lift because it just balances the car a bit. A little bit more balance through there. Hard on the brake. Strange, isn't it? It's like you need a short shift there, you lose traction. Lost it completely on that final section. Never mind. Never mind. So, pop out of here in just a moment, we'll sign up. That's about the lap I want to try and aim for in the race. Something more consistent rather than on the limit. If you're constantly going to be on the limit, you need to be in the top room and you need to play a lot basically, and you need to know what you're doing. When you're like me and you're trying to just survive on the edge of your limited track knowledge, my brake pedal isn't set up right either. I've noticed as well, if you look at my brake, it's not staying. Just my... I feel like my brakes aren't necessarily locking in quite the way I'd like them to. This is a very tricky section. You can hear the tyres moaning. corner is so important. So it's the Saturday before Christmas. Many of you will have finished work now and broken up from school and had all your Christmas parties, and now you're watching a bit of Gran Turismo and VVV, because why else not? You get to see me learning Gran Turismo over the past couple of weeks. I've enjoyed playing it. I've enjoyed learning different attributes to it that perhaps I wasn't aware of before, and certain complexities of the racing, and just how competitive the community is on here. I mean, the drivers on this game are really good, as they are on any sort of top level community, has to be said, but I really like the sportsmanship stuff. You know, I'm not saying it's perfect, of course it's not. It's impossible to be perfect. Human beings aren't perfect. But at least just trying to keep control. So Mark Patterson's in the room. Hello Mark, back from the match, ready to race. Hope to see you in the lobby. Yes, you might do. You might do. I'll be entering, and you know, looking forward to it. I think Mark, you were the one who said a couple of weeks ago to me you should go online when I was practicing the new circuits, and that inspired me. And I thought, you know what, yes, I should go online and just see what it's like racing against people after quite a few years. And I've been gradually learning how it's done, and despite obviously limited running compared to a lot of people, I've managed to learn a lot very quickly. Strange corner that is. What a strange corner. It's there's almost like two lines to it, you know, reverse, slow, but whatever line you do, you need the one that gives you that exit. And let's just find a consistency here with this corner, because obviously you can see I lost a lot of time there, but I don't really care about time so much in the race. I care about just not hitting the wall. I can tell you that plenty of guys, not only are they going to make mistakes and hit the wall, but they're also going to get penalties to boot. Tom's in the room as well. Evening, dudes. Hello, Tom. And alright, it's a moment. Once we have some chat going, I'll bring the chat up on the screen, actually. But it's typical, isn't it? Some days I have it really busy on the chat, and seeing what it's like with fourth, but a bit more responsive through that section on fourth, isn't it? Look at that, look at the way I gained there, just in fourth on that final corner. Let's try that again. Let's try a shift down just to see. So we'll just try and see what we can do with a shift down into fourth on that second to last corner, to see if it gives me a bit more balance in terms of acceleration through the exit. I don't like, frankly, this isn't a car I necessarily enjoy driving. I don't like the way it moves around, I don't like the power band, don't like the feeling of traction. Not much to like, really. But yeah, minor changes coming to the stream over time. See, there's me talking and looking at chat rather than driving. Damn. Don't give me a penalty. See, that's just one of those elements there where the ghost was beating me. It made me... so we're going to have to commit to this, aren't we? Got to commit to that corner, so we're going to have to go through flat through there. Got to commit to that. And then this is one where we're just going to lift a bit. It's alright, you can see the difference it makes lifting, but short shifted there. Just can't tell if it gives me better traction or not. It's very difficult to say, isn't it? When is the right time to shift? goes to just a bit off-putting, being right in the way there. But I did work on the final corner, so that's something. Okay, so that's something. So finding balance, that was with a lift, so you can see without the lift we would have been into the 206s, but at least we've got some balance there. Right, what time is it? 5:52. So what are we aiming for in tonight's race? Well, as ever, I'm not always, I'd like to do well, but I do feel that tonight we're looking more at a midfield finish. I don't feel that this is a car necessarily I feel comfortable with, and I think for me this is when you're racing online like this, you often think, oh, it's about winning, it's about beating the winner every time, but if you recognise that that guy in the lead has done 10,000 laps and knows the game inside out, you're just not going to beat him. But he might make a mistake if you push as hard as you can. So I'll just be doing the best I can, and if it happens at the end of the race that I'm in a good position, then great. But I will say it's about being satisfied with those race results where you've done the best you can. You say, do you know what, I played my best and I couldn't win. I think that's all I'm looking for tonight, and if that puts me in a good position at the end of it. Now, I don't know if this race has pit stops. Does anyone know? This race has pit stops. Oh, too fast. That's fine. That's fine. So we found some balance there. Let's enter into the tournament. And let's get the old chat ding dong going up on the screen there. Here we go. Let's get the chat going. Oh. Boom, there we are. So now we have the chat on the screen. Typical, it's a night where the chat is the quietest it's ever been. Sometimes it's super busy on Facebook. No pit from Marco. Thank you, Marco. No pit. So tonight we're just going to focus on I guess, on just controlling this impossible to control car. Now, grid placement is really important because if you do a bad qualifying in your lobby and you're behind guys who aren't that consistent, and it's easy not to be consistent here, you can find yourself in a very perilous position. So Asia drivers also use Porsche. Damn, well, I'd say that the point I'm at, I've done my practice on this car, so we can have a quick look, can't we? We've got 4 minutes to entry deadline. No, it's too late for that now. We're just going to enter with this car now. Of course, the 911 GT3 RS, I guess, is the one we could have looked at. But after this race, I will look at that, because this car does not suit me at all. Let's just see for a minute. We haven't got enough time. Let's just have a go with this car. And right. Hold on, hold that space. I'll be straight back, viewers. And Okay, viewers, right, we are ready, get comfortable, cushions will do, there we go, bit of lumbar support there is always what you need. Okay, and so that's it, we're going to see how we get on now, viewers. 1 minute 50 to the race, and then we will go. Do we have to just sit here and wait, or can we back out of this? I have no idea. Can anyone tell me? Again, I'm a GT Sport noob, so I'm still learning these things as I go, basically. And of course there's no racing on TV at the moment, is there really? Of course Formula 1's ended. I mean, we watched Formula E last weekend. Was it last weekend? It was all a bit dull though, wasn't it? Formula E. Driving was good, but the lack of sound, the lack of detail in the track being just a tunnel, pretty dull. You know, the fact that there were sort of people able to use the special boost area during the safety car, the fact that the liveries all look the same and you can't tell what car's what just by looking at them, most of them. There's still a way to go on that. It's a bit hot in my room here at the moment, hopefully it'll cool down a bit in a minute. Heating's blasting out next to me. Okay, and I'm ready to go. Very quiet on the chat tonight, viewers. Just when I get my chat feature sorted. Unfortunately, I don't know if Facebook's working properly at the moment. We'll see if Facebook is working and testing everything out. So Facebook is indeed working now. That's good. So. This, of course, I think it's one of my first Saturday streams, isn't it? I'm still deciding what day of the week to stream on at the moment, which days are going to be the best for sort of daytime and evening streams and stuff like that. A bit hot in here. I'm going to have to just sort that heating out. Be straight back, viewers. Okay. We'll be ready to go. So let's take a look at the people in the lobby. Lots of bees. So this is going to be an interesting lobby, isn't it? A tough, equally matched lobby. Got one person with a 911 GT3 RS in the room, which is a car I very much enjoyed driving with a controller. We're going to see how we get on in here. And Mark's been practicing. Good man, you need to do practice on here. So it's a competitive lobby again. You can see from the points, varied range of high point scorers in the room. So people in this room really do know what they're talking about, don't they? For those kind of points. So I think 7th place. I think if we finish top 10 out of 20, I think that would be a solid result in this race of this competitive level. But I do want to do the best I can. So hello everybody, and good luck. So I think qualifying is going to be really quite exciting. So Mark doesn't want to jump in and embarrass himself. Be a very interesting race today. Those of you watching will know I actually hit a ghost the other day. So that was quite shocking. And please do share the stream as well. Facebook, Twitter, supports what we do. And like you say, especially where Gran Turismo fans are concerned, you know, find more Gran Turismo fans. So not pushing too hard, don't want to crash into anybody, and we're just getting a feel for it. But the first thing I've noticed is how quick everybody was through turn 1. Did you see that? And everybody was very quick indeed. Oh dear. That guy going right off there. I'm going a bit wide as well. Just seeing what's going on in terms of the action here. It's going to be quite action packed. The Porsche having way better traction through there. So this is definitely sort of the expert car in terms of stability being so unstable. And warm-up is completed. So now into qualifying. It's cooling down a bit now, so that's much better, and be ready for the here we go then. Alright. Qualifier. So you go out in order basically. And we'll give ourselves a little bit of a gap. And trying to give ourselves a bit of a gap, but not nearly the gap I wanted to have. Let's just try and put in a banker lap, and if this guy's a bit slow, then that will just compromise our lap and there's nothing we can do. I knew that was coming there. I broke early and tried to avoid it, but that's compromised our lap already. So let's try for a 2:09 if we can. Sort of messed that up, didn't it? And we're going to lift a bit here because this guy's right in our way and we don't want to do anything stupid. Oh, come on. Guy slowed up. Wow, this is quite stressful, isn't it? So I started the lap in 8th place. I've now finished it in 2nd place, and we're on a dreadful lap. But at least we have a clearer track, even though our tyres are going to be slightly more worn. I think we'll actually do better. Mad Hatter's in the room. Hello, and Zany. It is an SR kill, there's no doubt about it. But it's very hard trying to get a... Okay, so we've got a clear track. We've got slightly worn tyres. It's enough time to get another lap in here, then get in and pit. If we're lucky for one more run. go flat. Little lift, feel the car sliding. And go little lift again here, just little lift again there. That'll be our qualifying time for sure. It's better. Okay, that's better. Still not where we want to be, but we'll pit this lap. And you know, it's one thing, isn't it, doing it in a time trial? It's another thing doing it when you know you only have one lap to do it on slightly worn tyres. Just a shame that first lap was wasted, essentially just getting through everybody, and I probably went out a bit hard. Lost a bit of time there anyway. There's only 3 minutes remaining. Not enough time, is there? Not enough time to really get the most out of it. I guess we could do, couldn't we? We could do a banzai lap. Try and just floor it through the tunnel with new tyres. Okay, Zane's off. See you in the race, or a race. So we're in pole position at the moment, and we're relatively comfortable in that sense. But someone could still just put in a good lap at the last minute. So we just want to get ourselves in a position to. Absolutely floor it now through this corner and try and improve. Better this time. Flat, flat, flat. Shall we try flat? Shall we try flat? Let's try just see how we get on. Give it a flick. Now what happened there, viewers? Well, I broke at the same time I normally brake. But because I went through the tunnel so fast, I hit the braking zone much quicker than I normally would, and should have braked 2 meters earlier. It would have made all the difference. That was a real shame because I lost about 3 seconds on that. Well, it was still an improvement despite the mess. We have nothing to lose now. Just try and improve if we can, but I doubt we'll be able to improve with somebody in front of us. Terrible exit then. That cost us big time. We'll try again. We'll try going flat. Try going flat. And flat. Flat. Let's do this. Let's try it again. Flat. If my tyres were perfect then, it would have been much quicker there. But messed up the final couple of corners. Just ice skating around those really, not the way I like to drive, but pushing the tyres. And again, 208. So at least we were consistent. Yep, Starfox is saying this FIA race is on this track. Yep. So, oh, goodness. Do you know, normally when I do this chat stuff, there's people chatting on Twitch and Facebook and everything. Tonight's just on YouTube, typical when I get the chat working. Okay, so we qualified first. On that basis, one would assume that we stand a good chance of doing well today. In a B room, look at that, a solid B room. I think almost everybody here has more points than me. You know, we've moved up from from E to D to B, C to B in just 5 days of solid racing in total. So we're going to see how we get on. Okay, let's just crack on. No. So we'll just wait then. I guess that's it. Got the intro, haven't we? In a moment. Final begin in 10 seconds. JD Max, of course, is on. Oh, there it is on the screen. We have a Twitch commenter. There he is. The one Twitch commenter. He's lonely, but not anymore. You can see it now on the screen. Heroes. The stuff of heroes and legends. For the first time, we bring drivers together like never before. Heroes from across the world, from across time and automotive passions, bringing nations together for one cause, the cause of Gran Turismo. Mark Patterson would have qualified third. Great. And JD Max now hosting my stream. Awesome. All right. Okay, viewers, no more comments now. I'm just going to focus on the race all as soon as it starts, and then I'll catch up with the comments afterwards as ever. For those that are new, I'm not ignoring you guys. It takes a lot of focus on these races. New follower, top man Boise. So we're in a good position. Ideally, we just need to find some consistency and pull a gap somewhere between us, top 5, and the rest of the field early on, and then be good. We've got a heavy braking point at the end of, I guess you could call it turn 3 officially, and if we can get through that cleanly, that slow section, I think we can probably make a bit of a gap to people and the crashers and get away. So Star Fox, love the presentation there. Glad you like it. I always think of like Disney, American Disney movies like you've never seen. See Dumbo Return and Mickey Mouse. Right, must concentrate. The grid's parked right the way around the corner, aren't they? I mean, if you're at the back of the grid, I mean, you've got a tough job catching up halfway down the track, aren't you? There we go. This guy's coming up, he's got my slipstream. Now you might say, why did you take turn 1 a bit slower, Alan? Well, it's because it's the way you're going to take it. Okay, it's alright, we're okay. I'll take that position back. My SR went down then because of that incident, which is a bit disappointing, but try and focus. And he's right beside me, I think. Is he? No, he's falling behind. Now, this is holding us up quite a bit here. My steering wheel moved. My steering wheel came off. Shit. My steering wheel came off the rack. Oh man, I'm going to have to hold the wheel. Oh, I don't think I can even finish the race now. It's over. It's over. Oh, bugger. The wheel just came off the rack. So if I... Oh, well that's my race over and done with, isn't it now? That was a win in the bag there. My brake pedal stopped working. Disconnected somehow. Ah. See if we can lock it in place. Just okay. Ah, well, viewers, it wasn't to be, was it? Comfortably in the lead, and suddenly the wheel comes off in my hand, and something's gone with my car, and I don't know what's gone wrong with the car now, whether it's damaged or something. No, it's no good. The car's not even handling right now. Ah, well, happens to the best of us, doesn't it? Unfortunately, I couldn't predict that was going to happen. Obviously, now it's barely worth continuing. No, the car's knackered. There really is no point in continuing. So that is that. We'll exit that race. It's just, I don't think there's any point. I don't really think there's anything we can do. Try and secure the wheel again. It's like the brakes aren't working anymore. It's completely lost all speed and handling. That's frustrating, isn't it? All that qualifying, comfortably in the lead, and the wheel comes off. Right, the wheel's not really in the right place now either, but bugger. Well, that's motor racing, viewers. It happens, unfortunately. I know my rig's a bit old, so I think what it is that because I've changed over so many steering wheels now, it struggles to bother. Get some new tyres on, and well that was that, and that's ruined all my ratings and everything else, and through no fault of my own. Yeah, the car's not handling right at all. Don't know why. Don't know if there's any kind of damage or what happened there, but let's just try and put in a better lap. I don't know what happened at that braking point. It's like my braking pedal was just detached from the back of the wheel slightly after it moved, and I think it yanked it out. Because it's all quite tied in and tucked in at the back here, so if you pull the wheel out, it pulls the wires out. Ah, what a shame. What a shame. That's really frustrating, you know. I was enjoying that race then. You know, I wasn't even comfortably on my full limit either. Just taking it easy. Boise saying try to get fastest lap. I could do, I suppose. I feel quite dejected after all that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, on for a second FIA win then. And I mean, that guy was holding on, but you know, I would have taken that eventually. The car's definitely not handling right. The car's definitely not handling. Something's wrong here. I'm braking at my normal points. My brake's not having it. Sod it. It's still moving, so I'll have to tighten the wheel after the race. Go on then, we'll try and do a fast final lap and see how we get on. Oh my god. What a frustrating run, I have to say. That was a really, really frustrating run. I'll have to do some practicing afterwards and figure out what's going on here. It's, I don't know what's going on with the car. It's definitely not handling as it was for me, and I can't explain why. I can't get the car to go where I want it to go at all, can I? It's weird. Check my settings. I might even change the setting on the wheel for all I know when it fell. Something's not right with the brake pedal. Terrible. Well, disaster, disaster. Holding my wheel in place for the whole race was not ideal. What a disaster. Well. Oh, I got the fastest lap. I got the fastest lap. That was the most frustrating situation. That should have been another win in the bag. Instead it was, I don't even know how to comment on here. It's something like this, isn't it? Oh, do you know what? Forget it. I'm not even interested. Right, well, let's try and fix this wheel live on a stream. Fixing a wheel. Let's get it sorted where we want it to be, and then see if we can fix it in place. One of the screws is buggered here. Felt like a mechanic trying to fix a Le Mans car in 5 seconds. All right. It's got to be so tight. That's it, that one was a bit loose. Okay. Okay. I'm going to turn the wheel off. Turn it on again. Let's see if we have any other issues. So the bolts are weak in there. Apologies for the noise there. That was a very frustrating race. And I don't quite know what happened to my brake, but it certainly does anyone know, this is a question for the community, does anyone know where the oh, that's very frustrating, wasn't it? I have a go-kart. Lovely. Gran Turismo racing car. Does anyone know where there is an option to increase the sensitivity of the brake pedal? Does anyone know if there's... That's a question for anyone in the audience. Do they have any idea? And we've got Tim as well, Formula 1 TG. Hi Tim. We've just had a disaster in the last race, of course. My steering wheel came loose on my stand in the middle of the race, and my FIA race I was leading, or battling for the lead, and then I wasn't anymore. So bit of a disaster there. I'm going to enter the next one because why the hell not? And then we'll see where we are. I don't know what I'm looking for now. I'm looking for options. Controller options. Yes. Does anyone know if there's anything here to increase the brake sensitivity? I have an issue with brake sensitivity, and I don't know how to fix it. And if they do, that would be handy. I can't see any other control buttons, but not. No adjustment for brake. Okay, because I have a slight problem with my brake pedal. Not getting the sensitivity I need. Let's get out of that then, and let's go back into the sport mode. That was incredibly disappointing, wasn't it? I mean, I have to admit that would have been a win now. I felt a win coming, and for your wheel to come off at that time. We're going to double check this now, viewers, because we can't have that happen again. No way. Right, I'm going to go and get some water, and then when I come back, we're going to enter it again, and we're going to do hopefully a bit better, a bit more representative. I mean, that was perfect run there, wasn't it? Pole position, and a race win on the cards. But well, I bet now I'm going to be some way down, and Mark saying driving options before you get the track, maybe. Maybe, but probably. Kimmy can sympathise with my steering wheel shoot. Yeah, there's a few drivers where the steering has come apart in the middle of a race, and I've seen a rally video. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it. The rally car comes off, and the guy's like, "Oh well," just starts driving with the actual rim itself. But Martin saying maybe all this game. Thanks. It's I am enjoying the driving in it. It's blooming frustrating, isn't it? Blooming frustrating. Right. Next one starts at. So we're still, the entry period's not up yet, but we'll come back to that in just a moment. Let's just go into it and practice, and just see if we can just get ourselves back together. Then I'm just going to go off, get a drink, and then come back and focus on the race. This is an incredibly difficult car to drive, I will say. The chances of getting penalties and errors are quite high, and I think bearing in mind the problems I had in that race and the penalties I picked up, I think my lap times were quite a bit quicker than everybody else's, so I would have finished no lower than second. Let's see how we get on now. Okay, Ceci drives the Fanatic wheel, good man. Just calm down now, and we're aiming for a 207 if we can, just to get into the swing of things, make sure everything's tickety-boo, and then my little break. I got on the power too quickly there, lost traction. That's okay though, it's good to study it. Or in these circumstances. I mean, it has to be said, quite a few times there I was struggling breaking into this corner. It's interesting braking. Do you see how the braking? That's almost full braking. It's really hard to get full brakes. So I am having a problem with my brake pedal. And it turns out that problem with my brake pedal has been consistent. I only found out today, but if you watch all my streams, you'll see I'm hardly ever 100% on the brakes, and that's because the piece of sponge behind the Fanatic brake is too hard. So you have to put more pressure on it than my rig can handle. So when I press hard, it's bending the rig rather than pushing the brake down. That's how hard it is to push to 100%, which is too hard basically. So I can't get 100% brake on any of my races. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to focus on just a bit of consistency again, just to get that back, and then try and improve for the next race. So the next race will now be, yeah, there is something going on with my brake pedal. So if I can't get that fixed, then there's no point me entering races. I don't know why that just happened. I'm having to brake super hard. It's very strange. And we've got a penalty. Brilliant. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. No, it's not the brake bias, Marco, it's the actual brake pedal. It's taking too much pressure to get 100% brake, and it seems to have got worse, not better. Go flat. Let's do this. Let's do this. No. I get a penalty. Brake pedal is not working right. I wonder why it's not taking the braking on. Yeah, I'm actually touching the brake now. My foot's on the brake. Foot's on the brake. Okay, so something's wrong with my brake pedal. You actually hear the brake. It's not even responding properly. It's not even responding. Oh well, I think that might be the end of the brake pedal. Something's gone wrong with it. Let's see if we can figure that out. If not, that's the end of the stream, viewers, and we'll be... Let's see if we can fix this. See if we can fix this now. Mechanics, engineering on the go. See if we can fix this while live, viewers, on the stream. Oh.
Can we get this out? Let's get this
Let's just try that. Let's try that. I'm I'm going to try taking the knob out. Let's see if that works better. Something is not right there. I don't know if this is even going to work either. No, it's got no resistance at all. It's like the foam was just too hard to press on. Well, we're not going to bother racing until I fix this, because we've got 100% braking now. That's much better. The pedal travels a long way. You can actually hear that's the pedal slamming, and there's no brake pressure at all appearing on the screen. Okay viewers, well fortunately probably going to leave the race until I can fix the brakes. Something's gone wrong with the brake pedal. Unless I try driving with a brake like this. Let's just see how we get on just with a loose brake pedal. I've actually got nothing in the brake pedal now. It's just there's no resistance there, so completely loose. Wow, you see, look at the difference it makes. Let's try it again now. So on the heavy braking, I'm getting nowhere near maximum brake pressure normally. Okay, so let's just try and... If we can get a feel for it with nothing there though. I can drive wheels with zero force feedback, and I can do brakes with zero force feedback as well. It's a bit more difficult when you're used to... See how we get on. This is a lot more difficult. Yeah, it's not ABS. It's actually to do with my brake pedal travelling with no brake happening. So we're just going to try and do some laps. To see if we can just fix the situation. Wow, it's actually completely changed the braking distance to the corner. So I was having to brake, always having to brake further before the corner than I needed to. Explains a lot of things. Oh, stress. Right, let's see if we can just focus now, putting some consistent laps and see if we can work with this new setup, viewers, with nothing in the brake pedal. And we're actually braking later than we were. It's amazing. So we've actually got new levels of braking that I've never had before, just by taking that foam lump out. can't find the sensitivity for that corner. That's the problem. My foot rests on the brake sometimes through some corners just to balance the car. I suppose I'm used to either having a, what do you call it? I can't remember now what the type of brake I normally use is. Let's see if we can get some speed. So I'm intentionally braking later than I normally would here, just to try and load cell, that's what I normally use. So it makes a big difference to the feeling I'm getting through the brake. I think that's what loosened the wheel on the stand, which was all of that stuff. I know what's wrong. So what you're seeing is part of my technique is I slightly ride the brake through a few corners, but I can't ride the brake now because there's no sensitivity on it. I can't get better times. Okay, so we're going to see if we can just park this. Apologies about this, viewers. This was not the plan for tonight. The plan tonight was to win a couple of races rather than just test the steering wheel, but we've got to do what we've got to do. Take these off for a moment, try and find a space here to get down here and fix this.
Shape a bit off or something.
Down. Okay, drama. The drama of racing. Right, drama of racing. It looks like we'll have to be we can't really do much. We're just going to have to go with what we've got and go to a lobby and see how we get on. No, I don't actually. I don't have an old set of sponges, unfortunately. And I've just missed the 7 o'clock race. Oh, right. Well, that might mean that's the end of it for me, but we'll see. We'll see. If we can't get the pedal going, there's no point in... something went wrong then with my brake for sure. It just went soft and I lost my braking, so there's no point in racing if I haven't got my brake working properly, but it's definitely not giving me 100% brake. So I don't know what's going on with the brake pedal. Something's gone in it. We'll try this, and if it doesn't work, then we'll just well, we'll see how we get on. If I can still do a lap time with longer braking, then we're okay. Ah, viewers, a drama on a Saturday night. This is not what you need. Wow. Okay, that's near maximum braking there. That's surprising. I've literally got to push my back in my seat to do a full-on braking if I'm going to do this. Alright, let's go then. I am going to look to see if there's another pair of pedals. I can't change them over because it takes ages to change over pedals on these things. Can't brake at that point. Quite a bit to think about here actually. Just trying to, I'm literally just testing brakes, testing pressures, looking at brake distances. It's all, whatever's gone, it's, look at that, it's just undrivable. I don't know why, what's gone wrong. Yeah, we could try restarting the wheel, I guess. The only solution, isn't it, is to try and restart it. Well, it seems that's it. That seems to have fixed the problem, viewers. Well done to that person for reminding me, Kip. Turning the wheel off seems to have fixed the problem. Let's try it out. Which is nice, because it means that we finished the last race with a broken brake pedal and still putting the fastest lap. So it's actually working again. Oh, the car's actually responding properly again. Okay, let's see if we can put in a more representative lap then, now that everything's working. That's better. We can actually hug that wall again, can't we? Let's put in a better lap now. Boise is saying, done the nation to come enter it again. Yes, because I came in next to last place, so there's not much point in that. I may as well run it again, get more points, because the new rule now is that you can enter it multiple times. So I will enter it again. See how I get on. This wasn't what I had planned for the stream tonight, obviously. We're back to where we were. Well, that's what happens when your pedals disconnect in the middle of a race when the wheel moves. Brilliant. Well, it's all part of the journey, viewers. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. I appreciate you tuning in, watching me moaning at the steering wheel, racing around. Goodness, this is meant to be a jovial time of Christmas. I should wear a Christmas hat just to celebrate, but I would get too hot during these races, so I will save the Christmas hat for Christmas streams. And let's just see where we are. That's it, that's nice and smooth. And braking, 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 braking. Savage says, looks like Ridge Racer 24. Well, as it happens, it does. It feels like Ridge Racer, and sometimes I've played this with Ridge Racer music playing as well. So I'd love to do during the stream, and it really does feel like playing a modern Ridge Racer game. It's just that look and feel. Okay, our lap times are back. Our lap times are back. Okay, we're back, viewers, we're back. We're on. We're back. Fixed. Disaster. Doesn't matter. It means we're back. We're fixed. The wheel is working. It just needed a reset. Whatever happened there, completely messed it up. Wow. Okay, I will enter the race now then. So next race then 8 o'clock will be the race, and then I will enter that, and then we'll do a more representative lap. I mean, this lap is full of errors, and yet it's still ahead of the time I have there, so. Now, Greg's VR's here. Greg's VR, good to see you, Greg's VR. And I Am Legend DLC. What's that then? Is there a special DLC for the game? Yeah, consumer advice for Fanatic Wheels. Turn it off and turn it on again if it doesn't work. I can imagine the IT department saying that to me. Oh, this is no problem. Just turn it off, turn it on again. Golden. If I'd known that, I should have done it during the race, but it doesn't work. Wouldn't have made any difference with it. I mean, yeah, and I was lifting through here, and I could have gone flat, but this time I'll go flat, because why the hell not? Okay, so we've got our lap times back to where we want to be. And then we're ready to go. And Greg likes how it's a ghost town. It is a bit of a ghost town, but I said that on my original comments, didn't I? There's not enough people or catchment fencing or flags or banners or barrier types or anything like that to give it any life. You could do just a bit more life. Having said that, if that came at the detriment of graphical fidelity and lighting, I wouldn't want it. And I think the way they looked at it is, you know, yes, a lot of the core things are here. I'm sure when you see Gran Turismo on the PS5, it will have bells and whistles and a million people, you know, cheering, and actual faces of the players around the world mapped onto them via some new cloud-based means. Get your face mapped into the crowd on Gran Turismo 7. And we got a new subscriber as well, Chuck King. Hello Chuck King, welcome to my stressful Saturday stream. Trying to go too quickly. Okay, now doing Charles Leclerc there and just collecting it on the spin. Right. how long do we have until the next race? We've got half an hour, so I'm going to Alonso says try racecraft. There you get more life, although it's an alpha state. It's in alpha state. Oh yes, it's been in alpha for a long time, racecraft. If you haven't seen it, viewers, it's a game where it randomly generates race courses, and it's improving all the time. It's a very ambitious project from the developers, and they're all really nice guys who make it. But at the moment, I am going to focus on this. Let's see, the next race is at 9 o'clock. I'm just going to check. So 8 o'clock, isn't it? 8 o'clock. Entry period starts in 27 minutes. Okay, viewers, I'm going to have a 5-minute break, and then I'll be back in a moment, and then ready to start preparing for the next race, and I'll be testing the Porsche as well, see if we can get something out of that in terms of a bit of stability. And that's it. It wasn't meant to be a stream this long, but we'll try it out and see how we get on. So I'll be back Okay, viewers, we're back. We've lost a few viewers, but that doesn't matter. I needed a little break then. I wasn't quite intending to stream for so long tonight, but you've got to wait for a bit. And I think 2 hours of solid driving, I just needed a 5-minute refresher. Now that the wheel's working again, we should be in good condition. So when I was saying the car was damaged or broken, obviously it was down to the wheel and the pedals just not responding properly to my actions. Very unpredictable, but we've not got long now. Let's just have a look at free practice with a Porsche for a second. I'd just like to see what this car is like, as other people seem to be using it. In theory, this car should be a lot more controllable. Right. Let's have a look at this car, just have a cruise around. So I can brake later. This is the area where I think the Porsche will be much better with instability through the tunnel. Okay. I know I'm just flooring it at the moment. No, it needs to brake a bit before those sections. Does have very different attributes to the KTM. That's one thing I do need to set up for my stream. I apologise about the viewers, I don't have a Be Right Back screen yet. I will set one up in due course. And given 2 crashes, it's not the end of the world. We'll brake a little bit later this time actually into this corner, I think we can. It actually feels more stable to drive this car. It's much more stable. It doesn't move around much. It's not a hell of a lot slower. In fact, it's just a few miles an hour slower down the straights, which better on its tyres through there. A little bit of a rear end grip loss there, but you can ignore that getting on the power, a bit straighter. Carrying a bit too much speed into that corner, which compromised the end of the lap, so we'll lose a bit of time there, but tell you what, it's not bad, is it, this car? I mean, in many ways it's a better race car. If I would actually say that for the average player, this is a much better car to drive if you're just casually entering the race and you want to just get a solid result. If you're watching this and you're thinking, yeah, you know what, I don't think I'm gonna win it, but I'd just like to get round, this is a better car for you because it's 100 times more stable. Damn, got some wheel spin, and that blew the end of the lap there. So, wow, so it's slower obviously than the other car, but it's not a bad race car. I mean, if you were doing these laps in the race, it's much easier. If I was doing like a 30 lap race, this would be a much better car to choose because it's so stable under braking, it's so stable around the corners. There's still a couple of areas where you've got to be resting a little bit of brake there, but I haven't altered any brake bias details or anything like that to look at performance. I mean, you could probably move brake bias forward and then back in the race, but let's see if we can just get this corner into this corner. We can flat there. So we did a much better speed through there then. It won't do this one flat, but we can try it. Let's just try it. Oh, we've done it. We've done it flat through the corner. Car does not like second gear on the exit of that corner. Very progressive. Get in there. Get in there with the Porsche. I have to say, if it was just a bit quicker, this would be the car to use. It's just ever so slightly off on pace. Ever so slightly off. But it's still a very good car to use. Traction is definitely the way forward. Okay, so we're going to get out of that now, because otherwise our head will be in the wrong place for the actual car we're driving. Pranav says, I've not tried any of the Tokyo tracks because they seem way too dull and lifeless, not the track like itself but surrounding environment. I would agree. I've said all this before actually. They just need a bit more life to the environment, some flags flying and stuff like that, some colour. I think I don't know if you've seen the Tesla track on the standard races this week, but that's really dull. I mean, that really is very dull to drive around. Because there's no sound from the cars, and so there's just silence. You're just driving around a silent Tokyo. But as I was saying earlier, if it meant using performance from performance from the system for crowds, it's not worth it. And I think the way they've looked at it is the same. Let's keep everything else looking amazing. Okay, how long have we got? We've got a few minutes, and then we're gonna take a look at the FIA race, which has unfortunately damaged our rating, hasn't it? Really, it's one of those things. But like you say, it's one of those things, and that's racing for you. Everybody's gone quiet now. Say hello if you're watching. It's 27 viewers. Come on, viewers, say hello. We've got Jin there. Sega Rally 2 had more life than these Tokyo tracks. You're right. I think the problem is, when it comes to older games, you could do 2D crowds, and they could probably do 2D crowds and 2D flags, but then a lot of people would complain and say, oh, the crowds look rubbish and all the rest of it. And I think they've just said, let's just focus on the basics, because people do complain a lot. That's unfortunately the problem. So now, obviously, I've got my eye out, having used the Porsche just now, which handled beautifully around this track. It really is a nice car, and I think when the tyres wear, actually, I don't know. Actually, the other car seems to be all right. Is that Carl saying, have I tried the F1 car yet? I haven't yet. I haven't been able to afford it yet, but I have enough to afford it. But I've got to have enough spare to buy the car so that I can keep up with the weekly races, because I don't have that many cars in the garage, but I will try it soon. Let's see how we get on then with just having used. It's funny, isn't it? When you drive another car and then you just need to take a moment to warm up back in your standard car again. Well, thanks for tuning in, viewers. I know it's not been the stream that we had hoped it would be tonight. If you missed the First Nations race, there was a bit of drama, and I went from first to last, and again here, I've just got to try and practice. My brake pedal's still not where it should be. It's still a bit soft. It was working well earlier, wasn't it? And I walk away from the system and I come back and it's something's up. So, oops. Brake pedal's going softer again. How weird is that? What was going on there? Kamikaze subscribing, and right up there, decent lap that time, wasn't it? So gradually learning these braking points. I see, yes, the Porsche is a good car. It is a good car, and there's no doubt about it. It's just in this particular race, this car is slightly quicker, even though it's more difficult to drive. Despite being behind, we're finding more time, and we improved our qualifying time as well a little bit. Mark saying, how's my race? I qualified in first and I finished just about last because unfortunately my steering wheel came off when I was battling for the lead, and then my brake pedal deactivated, and so I smacked into walls, took out other players, and it was just a disaster. So I haven't done my FIA race properly yet, so I'm just building up now, trying to improve. Terrible corner there, wasn't it? Too much speed carried in. And we're improving again. At least we're improving our qualifying time. So 206.1, so we're nearly into the 205s. And we're into the 205s. So now I'm going to stop there. I'm going to exit. So 205.8 is a slight improvement, and I'm concentrating more now because I just want to get this race done and then make it all worthwhile. Luckily, I've still got my B and my S rank, but clearly that will have damaged my ranks significantly, that race. And let's just exit and see where we are on leaderboard and enter the race. So if we I think there was a back out of that. We've got 9 minutes left to enter the race. Race entry. I don't know all the menus of this yet, so I'm still a little bit noobish on some areas. Point rankings. I see, that's point rankings essentially there. Okay, that's fine then. So race entry. Okay, race starts at 8 o'clock. And let's enter the race at 8 o'clock. So 8 o'clock then we have our next race, and matching begins in a short while. We can have a free practice, I think, for early enough. And we can. So we can have a free practice for a few minutes, and then I will very short break, and then we will be ready to go. So improvement there to 205s in a lap, and more of a standard 206. It turns out that my wheel may not have been working properly all day, so let's improve my lap times a bit. So let's see how we get on. Not long now. Carl says, glad to see I'm enjoying GT Sports. I am indeed. Today's been a bit frustrating, but I am enjoying it. Carl, it's Carl's favourite racing game. It's I mean, visually it's stunning. You know, I'm liking the whole look, the feel, the handling. For me, it talks to me in a way that other games don't at the moment sometimes. And there's no doubt about it. I mean, there's polish on this game. I mean, serious amounts of polish. We're going to be a bit more aggressive on this race. Really, really aggressive. And just see if we can... It depends where I qualify, essentially. If I qualify near the front, it'll be like before. My head was in the right place until that happened. I'm just a bit frustrated and want to get it done tonight. I had a plan of doing another Tokyo race, but so our target lap time in the race then will be probably a 208. We can knock a 208 out. I think that we'll be in a good chance of, you know, getting a solid finish. I'm not as quick as some of the front runners, but we've seen already that it's very easy to pick up penalties. What tracks do you think are going to make the game in subsequent updates? That's a really interesting question from Pranav. Truth is, I have absolutely no idea, actually. I have absolutely no idea. I mean, we talked about Spa, but I think if they bring Formula E into GT Sport, I think they're going to want another Formula E type track. I really do. You know, a track to really line up real life with the game in some way. That's what Jean Todt would want, I think. Oh, I got a really bad gear shift then, didn't I? Put a wheel spin. Just trying something new there when I shouldn't be, should I? I should just be settling into my standard lap times. 5 minutes till matching starts, and then after that we'll be in good shape. See that even on that lap time there, it's just how bad I came out of that run. Spa would be a nice addition. I think Spa is one of the greatest racetracks in the world, so I really feel that that should be in the game, and in a way it's amazing it isn't there already. So okay, so we've got a couple of minutes. I'm just going to have a very brief break then, viewers, and then after that I'll be back for the race in literally a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere. I'll just get through this, and then we'll hang. Okay, so we'll just wait there, and I'll be straight back, viewers. Okay, viewers, well, I hope you're tuning in for the race, and it will start in a moment, of course, and that will be the just about Pranav's comment about the Tesla. It's not great driving the Tesla, and you need some music playing, a bit of Ridge Racer music maybe, just to give it something. There's no oomph. Mark's about to do the manufacturer's race. Mark, do you have any advice on what manufacturer you should use? Are there specific ones, or what's everybody else using? I don't really know. I haven't done a manufacturer's race. go then. So let's see how we get on. So we're in a room full of Bs again. I'm in 10th place, and we're going to try and qualify. And our goal is to top qualify in, got to be to qualify in the top 5, isn't it? That's got to be our goal here. And you can pick any car in the N500 range there, Pranab. So we had a look at a couple, but this seems to be the one with performance. The 911 has better consistency. Let's just relax now and just get this done. So whatever the result is now in this race, if the wheel detaches again, then obviously that's it. But it's all tightened. I've double checked and triple checked it already, so thanks Pranav, and best of luck Mark. And Mark says, remember Porsche Challenge on PS1? I enjoyed doing the stream. I did a lengthy stream where I completed Porsche Challenge, and it was hard work. Yes, the wheel detached, and unfortunately, it moved around, and then that detached the brake and accelerator pedal, so they weren't connected properly. So it was a bit of a balls up, but it's didn't get that right, did I? We've got Antrax as well. Oh my god. Goodness. I literally broke earlier than usual then, and the car still wasn't having it, was it? Oh well. Never mind. Come on, give me a tow. Okay, that's not bad. Got that final corner all wrong then. Terrible. Still, we improved to 2:06, so at least we have a time that's not terrible, and we can get into the pits and get a new set of boots, and then see how we get on. Feel the tyres going, can't you? When they start to go, they go in this car. Slow down now behind this guy. Let's not bother risking anything in qualifying. After the damage we've done to our rating, we just want to cruise. And so it's been an interesting learning experience tonight, viewers. You've seen an epic run of action, and you can see we've got less fuel in the car, so we've got enough time to get out there, put in a more representative lap if we can. And there's a car behind us. It's, I don't need to give way, I'm faster than him. You know, officially, Pranav, I'm not actually certain, but it feels to me like there's a certain near tyre temperature thing going on. And you can see they're all getting closer to my time. Power quite late there, so this lap time will be a 2:07 if we can take this flat. Okay, it was a bit risky, wasn't it? Oh, well. Tried it. I sort of pushed it a bit there, didn't I? Oh, well. I was pushing a bit that lap, to be fair, but I don't think we've got enough time now to do any better, so as long as someone doesn't beat me in the last 5 seconds, we're okay. I might just get another lap in, actually. How long have we got? 1 minute 20. We'll get around one more time. Oh, okay, that's the end. Wow. Oh well, we've got a bit of an advantage. So, in theory, we should finish top 3 in this room. But we can't think about that now. We have to focus on, you know, a top 5 finish. And what a bummer! What a bummer it was earlier. So I'm a bit quicker than everyone else in the room, so I should be in a good position to do well here. So, you know, warm up the feet, you know, the old feet. We've been driving for quite a long time now. This is a long old stream. It's got to be done, hasn't it? I feel like I've done 100 laps of this circuit today. That control thing's not easy to do. Here we go then. Heroes, together again. It may not have worked in the last race, but this time it will. As the heroes return to the track with the knowledge that they have the skill and the experience to win, whatever the weather, whatever the machine. Nations together, at last. A rerun of the Nations Cup on Gran Turismo. All right. All I can hope is that the guys behind me just don't take me out. That's all. Just got to hope they don't take me out. So you wouldn't want to qualify all the way down the back here, would you? You've got a really long job ahead of you. Yeah, guy in the F40, eh? He's going to give it all. He's going to drive in style. A lot of cars in the race, isn't there? 20 cars. So 20 runners from all over Europe will compete shortly. Good. Here we are, very measured performance then, no talking that time. I had to just get the job done. Could have gone a lot quicker, but I was really monitoring consistent laps rather than pushing records. You know, it would have been nice to have done a 2:07 or something like that in it, but I'd rather just get no penalties and just get some clean laps in. So it's a nice clean race in the end, and that's another decent win on the whole FIA roster. So second FIA race win after the disaster earlier, absolute disaster. Bit of a break for a moment from the old gloves. And so that pretty much concludes the stream tonight. I'm going to have a look I think that's about it really. It's been I'll just finish off this bit here and watch the ending. But I hope a lot of you have enjoyed it. I mean, I know it's just a concentration then, but as Carl says, job done, happy days. I've done it. I was determined to do well there, and a second victory in the FIA, so that's something. And I would actually say quite a dominant victory actually there. That was a reasonable result. So it's a decent haul of points as well. So we're improving all the time, aren't we? It was a better lobby than of B drivers. I mean, all Bs in that lobby, and I think what that proves is that my pace is certainly putting me up there with faster drivers. So hopefully that will recover the rating from the disaster we had a couple of hours ago, which I think it was a couple of hours ago. Goodness, we're streaming this for 3 hours now, 3 hours of driving. Let's just save the replay just for interest purposes. And that was a good example there, guys, of very controlled driving. That wasn't that. So that was a good run. Obviously I didn't have the fastest best lap, but it isn't quite interesting to see. Yeah, I didn't have the best lap, but you can see there how, you know, these other guys were doing good laps there, you know, but they were just not as consistent, you know. I pushed a bit harder on the first lap just to build a gap, and then after that I knew that's it. Then there's no point pushing. I mean, that guy doing a 2:10. I mean, yeah, I could have pitted even and got out in that race if it had been a bit longer, but I should have some party poppers here, you know. Oh, my TVs have just turned off. Wow, okay. Oh right, they've just disconnected from the computer, and that's that. Brilliant. Okay, so wow. Okay, so literally my TV's turned off. Okay, so okay, let's just, I'm gonna have to fix that in the options, and then open. Let's get you guys set up again so I can see everything. Oh, it's been an evening of it, hasn't it, viewers? In terms of drama-rama, but I hope you've enjoyed the racing today. Another decent victory. A question for some of you when it comes to the other race. Do you know what manufacturers? I haven't entered these exhibition races yet, these manufacturer series, but could be worth having a look at some point. So that's it for now, viewers. I'm actually tired after all that racing. I've just done 3 hours of driving, so I'm going to have a break. I think I've earned it now. Another good win, and working our way up the table, and I'm going to have a look at various activities so far and what I've learned in Gran Turismo in an upcoming video. But that's it from me for now. As ever, more soon. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thanks for following. I just want to say that before I go. I really appreciate all of you now that have followed and have subscribed, that have shared what we do, support what we do and stuff like that. Those as well that support the Patreon, those that become members on YouTube. It's all a massive help, and it enables us to do all this stuff. But that's it from me, as ever. More soon.